Hello, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University. And in this segment, I'm going to be going over how to retrieve National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey data, otherwise known as NHANES. So let's go ahead and get started here. First of all, what you're looking at here is a data and statistics web page. Let's go ahead and try to take a look from the cdc.gov website, and then NCHS, National Center for Health Statistics, and so that this is a shortcut. It's easier to type this in, and then if you go down, all the way down, on the population survey on the left-hand side, select National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. And then as you go down, you'll be able to see that there's tutorials, everything. What you want to do is access data. And this is all open access data, IRB approved for the primary data collection. You want to make sure that your secondary data is also approved. So let's take a look at these years, and these are interesting because a lot of people think that this is longitudinal, in that the same person that was interviewed in 1999 is also followed through 2007, 2009. So I've seen this mistake done by a lot of individuals that have been looking at this for a long time. So know that this is a cross-sectional study. However, there are ways, which is beyond the scope of this talk, where you can conduct a longitudinal analysis. So these are the years that are available, and then as you go up, you can see other variables. Now, one thing to note is that every cycle there are similar variables. However, there are additional modules where other questions are asked, and this allows for better understanding of the situation in different geographic locations. I can select one, for instance, 2011, 2012, and then there's demographic data, and I select demographic data. And when I do that, I see that there's all of these variables that are here, and then you can download the whole data set right here. So let's let's take a look at the code book, so to speak. And now this is not a code book like you would think, a paper copy or a PDF. This is actually a code book where you can click on active links, which will take you exactly to the code that you're looking for. So let's look at something that is interesting. Well, all of these variables are interesting. Citizenship status, for instance. This is citizen by birth or naturalization, or not a citizen of the U.S. So when you're trying to codify this, you can kind of not consider refused or don't know. When people are first looking at this, they think that without data cleaning, they can use this variable as is. This is not the case. The different variables have, most of them actually have 7 and 9. So make sure the lesson here is make sure you data clean. So these are all variables that you can actually download, and once you've downloaded, you can correspond to this code book. One thing about data analysis is that not only is the actual data very important, the code book is just as important for interpretation. So let me go back here and then take a look at where you can download this data. So you might not be able to see this. However, I've downloaded this data, and then what I'm going to do is provide you with some SPSS data, and then show you where citizenship was codified. So here is citizenship, and I could have written a descriptive here, and then in data view, remember I said 7 and 9 should be excluded. Well, in data view, as you can see, there's 1s and 0s. There's no 7 and 9. And you can double check this by looking at analysis, analyze, and then go into descriptive statistics, and then go into crosstabs, just to make sure that all of your variables make sense. So there's lead down there, concentration of lead, and then I'm gonna see if there's any difference, or see that all of the categories are still present. And as you can see, there's 2 categories in lead, and then 2 of them in citizen. So it has been cleaned properly, and now you can use this in any sort of analysis. So another portion that I want to cover quickly is how to merge and how to merge various data sets. So I'm gonna not go over an actual example for the scope of time. However, if you look at transform, under the menu item, you can see recode into different variables, or recode into same variables. So this is where the data cleaning happens. And then if you want to merge files, then you go, so let me return you there, transform, and then if you go into data, you go into data on the menu, and then under data, about halfway down, I go into merge files, and then usually add variables, or usually add cases. So here you can merge 2 data sets that are open, and continue, and then this is the menu that will appear. And so sequence number is the variable that you want to match by, and then there's other variables. Make sure that these are active in the new data set, and then determine and make sure that the variables that you need are at least in there. And then you select OK. I'm not going to go through with this. And then make sure that the merge took place appropriately and correctly. I've had situations where the merging did not take place, and then I had to make sure that any sort of code that I wrote was adequate. Now, in SPSS, there is provision to write code. Again, this is not in the scope of the talk here. I hope this has provided you with insight as to how to use NHANES dataset and how to open this in SPSS. Thank you for listening.